Okay, so welcome back to lecture once again, guys. Now in this lecture, I'll be talking about one of the amazing project, which is going to be a combination of RAG, LangChain, Hugging Face, Facebook AI similarity search, and many more things. So where it is going to take any number of document as an input, and you will be able to chat with all of these documents. So I'm trying to prepare this project with respect to medical use cases. So where you can try to pass basically a medical record of any number of patient, maybe hundreds of patient, maybe millions of patient. That's completely fine. And this chatbot in a real time is going to help you out with all of these documents. You don't have to open up and go through all of these documents. Maybe you can try to just ask that list all the patient from all the document, maybe like give me a detail about this particular patient or that particular patient, or maybe tell me what was the diagnosis which was mentioned inside that particular document, and maybe just you can ask that what is the cure, what is the solution for this patient, what is the recommendation for this patient. So each and everything, this system is going to respond you back in a real time with respect to a UI. So it is going to be a proper chat system that we are going to see. So here, just to give you a little bit of glimpse, because once I'm going to show you the final execution, you will be able to see a real wow. But as of now, yeah, this is the MediChat Pro, and on this side, I'm going to upload any number of a document that I want, and I will be able to chat with the system in a real time. That is a project which I'm going to show you. Now, so let me talk about a little bit of this architecture. So what we are going to do, so let's suppose I have n number of a document with me, so which is available as a PDF, right? So I have n number of a document. Now what I will do with this document, so I'm going to pass this document, I'm going to store this document, all of this document, I'm going to store it into a vector database called as Facebook AI similarity search. So FAISS. After converting, so first of all, I'll have to read. So I'll have to read all of this document. So let's suppose all of this document is available in a PDF format. So I'm going to use some of the PDF reader library, and after reading this entire PDF data, so maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe n number of the data, after reading it, so I'll try to convert this entire data into a vector space, or we all understand that what is the meaning of vector. Now to convert this data into a vector space, I'm going to use a Hugging Face model. So one of the model from the Hugging Face, because Hugging Face is basically a complete repository for variety of the model, not just for the embedding, but yeah, for an embedding. So I'm going to use a Hugging Face model, and finally I will try to store all of those data into a Facebook AI similarity search database. Now, once I will be able to store this entire data into a Facebook AI similarity search, then what I will have to do after processing it, obviously, so I have to process all of those documents. Then what I'm going to do, so then I'm going to invoke my chat interface. So let's suppose this is my chat interface, and I'm going to just divide it. So here we can try to upload a document, we can try to process a document, and let's suppose here we have a chat interface, right? So we have a chat interface, so where I can try to like write my query that give me a detail about this patient, or give me a list of all the patient for which you have a data, for which you have a document, give me a cure about this, and it will end up generating all of these things over here in a real time. So in this particular place, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to use basically a LangChain. So LangChain over here. Why I'm going to use a LangChain? Because as we all know that LangChain is one of the popular framework by which you will be able to invoke an agents, right? You will be able to invoke an agent. You can try to pass a context. You can try to pass a query over here. So obviously I'm going to pass a query over here. It is going to bring a context from the uploaded document. And then my LLM, right? So my LLM, so technically Euron API, Euron LLM, which I'm going to use. Inside that we have a multiple model access. So with the help of LangChain, I'm going to invoke those LLMs. Inside that LLMs, I'm going to pass my context, I'm going to pass my query, and eventually it is going to give me a response in a real time. So the response I will be able to see in this particular interface. So response I will be able to see in this particular interface. And then in a later stage, obviously I can go ahead with the deployment. So I can try to Dockerize this entire solution. I can try to deploy this entire solution on a Streamlined cloud or in a multiple places. So here, tech wise, so for a UI interface, I'm going to use Streamlined, and then database wise, vector database wise, so I'm going to use a Facebook AI similarity search database over here for a vector storage. Now, so to convert our data, right, to convert our data into an embeddings or into a vector, basically into that numbers, basically we are going to use one of the model from a Hugging Face we are going to use over here. Now, so we are going to use a PDF library. So any of the PDF library we are going to use, so that I will be able to read this entire PDF. So these are the things that we are going to use throughout the lecture. And then the fifth part is obviously I'm going to use a LangChain framework. And again, I'm going to use a LangChain framework, which will be compatible with the URI. So we already have like a SDK for that. So we are going to use that particular part. And the sixth, last but not the least, so we are going to use a complete URI API ecosystem. So whether we have to invoke a LLM model, so obviously I'm going to use a URI API, or whether I have to use a LangChain framework. So I'm going to use a URI API compatible LangChain framework over there. So that it is not going to give me any kind of an issue. And with the minimalistic code, I will be able to build this entire project. So code wise, like I said, it is going to be a super minimalistic, and anyone, even if you're coming from a background where you have just a basic understanding about the Python, you will be able to understand this project. You will be able to implement this particular project in a modular fashion. I have designed this entire project for all of you. So this project is not tough, but yeah, so it's very effective. Now in a later stage, you can try to modify this project for any kind of a use cases. So wherever you have to do a chatting with the millions of a document in your own domain. So as of now, I'm considering only a medical, but yeah, it's not specific to just a medical. You can try to use any document out there, and in a real time, you will be able to chat with this one. Even you can try to make it compatible with respect to an Excel sheet. So you can try to upload maybe a Excel, maybe a JSON, maybe a XML file, any kind of file that you want. You just have to add one more extension over there. That's it. So let's get started with this MediChat Pro solution, guys. And one by one, so we are going to build each and every solution for all of us. So first of all, try to open up a VS Code. That's a very first part. Now, once you are going to open up a VS Code, so let's try to create a fresh folder over here. So here I'm going to name it as a MediChat Pro. So MediChat Pro is a folder name. Now, so once I'm able to create this folder, now step by step, let's start building this entire project. But before that, let me even show you that how my PDF or how my sample document actually looks like. So I have prepared a couple of documents. So if I'm going to open up my document number 1, so this is how it will look like. So there is a patient, there is an age of this patient, there is a history of this patient, there is a allergies which is mentioned, and then medication which is mentioned, surgery which is mentioned, and notes which is mentioned, right? So likewise, I have a multiple document with me, and you will be able to chat with this document. So maybe you can try to mention more and more, that's completely fine. But yeah, these are the sample documents, 6 documents which I have prepared for this particular use cases. You can try to prepare maybe, or you can try to dump your own medical history, medical record, and you will be able to chat with this one. So these are the document that we have. So as I have shown you that we have a multiple PDF right over here. So yeah, we do have a multiple PDF available with me. Now, coming back to our VS Code. So here, first of all, we have to do a project setup. So unless and until we are not able to do a project setup, I will not be able to perform any of the operation. So here, first of all, I'll try to write a requirements.txt file in this particular place. And inside this requirement.txt file, so we have to place all of these libraries. So Streamlined, FPDF, PyPDF, Facebook AI semantic search, similarity search, LangChain, and URI AI. So URI AI you have to install. So these are the installation that we need. Yeah, these are the installation that we need inside this particular project. Now, how to do an installation? Very simple. So first of all, let's go ahead and let's try to create a separate environment, a complete separate virtual environment. Let's try to create it for this particular project only. So conda create -n and MediChat, right? So this is the environment which I'm going to create, and Python wise, just try to install Python 3.10. It's one of the stable one and the compatible one with all the library out there. don't install a latest one, it is going to give you some sort of a issue. There is a chance, right? Maybe you will end up getting no issues, but there is a chance. So let's try to do the installation. And you all will enjoy this project, don't believe me. So here, let's try to activate this environment. So once this MediChat environment is activated, clean my screen, and then just try to do pip install -r and then requirements.txt. Okay. So now it's installing all the libraries, including my Yuri AI, by the way. It will take a couple of minutes of time, depends upon my system and my internet speed, because it is supposed to download all the dependent libraries. Okay, so looks like all the installation is done. So whatever I have mentioned inside my requirement.txt file. So let's clean this screen and let's close it for now. Let's close even this one for now. And inside this MediChat, let's create a folder called as app. Without even folder, it's completely fine. But yeah, let's create it so that we can try to do this entire coding in a modular fashion. And let's try to create __init__.py file. Keep it blank, so that it will be able to recognize all the packages which I'm going to create inside this library. So let's close it. Yeah. Okay. Now, the very first thing that we have to write over here is config. So config.py file. Why? So because I'm going to keep basically a Yuri API key inside this one. So I'm going to keep a Yuri API key inside this one. Now, how I will be able to get a Yuri API key? Now, to get a Yuri API key, you just have to go to a Euron platform, right? Now, come over here inside this Yuri API, as you can see, and we have used it multiple times, right? So Yuri API, and then there is an option called as Yuri API key. Now here in this option, I have created tons of APIs. I am going to create one more. So here for a MediChat. So let's try to create one API key. So within a fraction of a second, it is going to give you an API key, and one API key will give you an access of 25 plus model. So for an image model, or maybe an audio model, text to speech model, or maybe a chat completion model, maybe a stream model, for all of these model, it is going to give you the access. So let's copy this API key, and you can even track a users. So whatever users that you are going to do, so it will be able to track even that particular part. So here, just copy this Yuri API key, and let's keep it inside this configuration file. So whenever you are executing it, so please try to change this Yuri API key with your own API key. Then only it is going to work, because I'm going to delete my own API key. So just keep it as it is, config.py file, and leave it. Fine. So this step is done. Now what we are supposed to do? So let's start from the first step. So first we will try to read what? First we'll try to read the PDF file. So we have to write a code which will be able to read my PDF file. Just a raw PDF file, it is supposed to read out whatever PDF file which I am going to pass. So here I'm going to write, or I'm going to create a file called as PDF_utils, PDF_utils.py file. So let's try to create a PDF_utils.py file, and inside this, try to keep this simple code. What this code is trying to do? So this code is going to take an input as a file. PDF reader it is going to call, because PyPDF is something that we have already installed. In my requirement.txt, I had a PyPDF, right? So this is going to help me out in terms of reading out the PDF. So it is going to take an input of a file. So whatever file that you are going to input, and it is going to call a PDF reader from a PyPDF. And then one by one, page by page, it is going to read it out, and then it is going to return you the final text. So whatever data is available inside the PDF, so this is going to give you this PyPDF utils that I'm trying to create, this PDF utils. So this module is going to read the PDF. Very simple, right? Like I said, I'm going to write all the code into a modular fashion. So that you will be able to understand, and it will be maintainable. You can try to mention like something in a later stage. If you have to enhance this module, you can try to enhance it, close it. So we are able to read a PDF file. So once we are able to read a PDF file, then what we are supposed to do? So then we are supposed to basically convert this PDF, after reading this PDF, convert this PDF into a vector, right? Into a vector, and then store it inside a Facebook AI similarity search database. This is the requirement. Yeah, this is the requirement. So, okay, coming to step number 2, and let's try to create a file over here called as vector vector store vector store underscore utils dot py file. So vector store utils dot py file. Now what we are going to keep inside this one? So we are going to keep this particular piece of the code. Now what this piece of code is trying to do? It is trying to call LangChain community, and from there I'm trying to invoke my Facebook AI similarity search database. Fine. Then the second one is, so I'm trying to use a Hugging Face embedding. You can go ahead and you can try to use even a Yuri embedding. We have an option, but I have already used a Yuri embedding so many times. So in this project, I thought of using some of the open source model from a Hugging Face. So this is what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to use a LangChain, and inside the LangChain, there is a library which will help me out in terms of loading all of those model. So here Hugging Face, and I'm trying to provide a model name. This is one of the model name. Now this is not the only model, by the way. You can try to use some other model as well for embedding, but yeah, I'm trying to use this particular model. And this one is going to help me out in terms of converting my data into an embeddings, into a vector space, a numerical data. And then here, so Facebook as similarity search from a text. So we are trying to populate the indexes. Indexes means we are trying to store the data. So this is what this function will do. A very simple function, plain and easy and quick, right? So we are trying to pass a text and we are trying to pass the generated embedding. So whatever embedding it is going to generate for the respective text. Now there is a second function. So this function will try to do what? So this function will help me out. So whenever I would like to retrieve a document. So let's suppose if I'm trying to fire some sort of a query, right? So whenever I'm going to fire some sort of a query, so it will look into a Facebook AI similarity search based on the similarity. So it will try to populate a context. Context means, so whatever data that we are going to store, it is going to fetch it. Means a document, it is going to fetch it based on the query. So whatever data will be similar to the query, so it is going to fetch a top K result. I believe I have already talked about that part in my previous lecture so many times. So this is what it is going to do. So top K. So top 3 record, or top 3 most relevant record based on the query that we are going to pass. It will try to fetch it from a vector store, technically a Facebook AI similarity search. So this is what it is going to do. So storing and retrieving. So both part is done over here. Now, once this part is done, so once I'm able to store, and then based on my query, once I'm able to fetch it, again, easy peasy kind of a function, right? Very easy. So once I will be able to retrieve it, then what? Then what is next? So PDF. So till this point, we are able to complete it. So we are able to store our data into a Facebook AI similarity search, right? We are able to write the function for this one. Now, what is next step that we have to take, by the way? So the next step that we have to take in this particular place is this one. So there is something called as in a UI, right? So in a user interface, we have to give an option to upload a PDF over here. So we have to give an option so that people will be able to upload a PDF. So let's try to create a function for that one, so that in a streamlined, people will be able to upload this particular PDF. So here to do that, I'm going to create UI.py file. So just a supporting function. And inside that, I'm going to keep a streamlined function called as PDF uploader. So this will try to call file upload the file PDF, type is equal to PDF. You can try to allow multiple file type upload. That's completely fine. So this is going to help me out in terms of uploading the PDF. Once this PDF will be uploaded, and once this PDF will be processed, this PDF will be uploaded and it will be processed. So we are going to give a process button over here. So once it will be processed means it is able to store the data into a Facebook AI similarity search vector database, right? Then what we have to do? So we can start writing a query. So we can start giving a query. Now this query will try to look into a vector database, and it will try to fetch the context. Context means a relevant document, a top K document. For example, in our cases, top 3 document with respect to the query, it will try to fetch. And here, so we are going to use what? We are going to use basically a LangChain. We are going to use what? We are going to use basically a LangChain, because we know that LangChain provides you an agentic approach. To do that, so we can try to create a function over here. we can try to create a function over here inside this folder, chat underscore uti underscore utils chat utils.py file. Okay, chat utils.py file. Now what we are going to keep inside this one. So here, let's go back once again to a URI. So here inside a URI, if you will come, Euron and then URI API. And once you are going to click on AI framework, right? Click on AI framework. So you will be able to find out all the compatible AI framework. So we have already built the SDK. You can try to use any framework in this world, right? Because we have like given you the URL and we have given you the authentication for that, a key for that. But we have built our own SDK, URI SDK, URI AI SDK, you can say. So which is going to make your life even more simpler and even more easier. So without writing much of code or copy pasting much of code, you will be able to invoke LLMs. You will be able to invoke a LangChain. So for LangChain inside a URI AI, there is a create chat model. So which is going to invoke a LangChain automatically, right? Which is going to invoke a LangChain and you will be able to use a LangChain to chat. You can try to provide the context or prompt, whatever you want, and you will be able to chat. So in this way, with the help of URI AI, you will be able to use a LangChain. So let's do it. Let's do it, right? So here I'm going to invoke let me explain you this part. So URI AI, and from there I'm trying to invoke a LangChain, and here, so this is going to give me a get chat model. So here I'm just trying to use a create chat model. It is going to return a create chat model from a LangChain, right? So where it will take a API key, which I'm trying to read. It is going to take a model I can try to change. So if I don't want this GPT 4.1 nano, I have 25, or for a text generation, at least I have a 20 plus model access, right? I have a 20 plus model access. I can try to use it. I can try to control the temperature. So this is going to invoke a LangChain chat module in a precise way. And then it is going to ask a chat model, and this one is going to give you the response as a content. So based on the chat model is coming from, means this is the object of the LangChain. This is going to return the object of the LangChain, which will come over here, and then eventually you will try to pass the prompt and it is going to give you the response in an agentic way, right? It will try to take the decision and it will try to give you the final output. So this is where this LangChain comes into a picture. So now if I'll come back to my picture, so here is my LangChain, and so LangChain I'm able to integrate. Now, so coming to the final part. So all these supporting files are available to me. Now coming to a main part, by the way. So coming to a main part, by the way, when I'm able to create all the supporting things. Let me keep config.py into an app. Yeah. So now coming to the supporting part. So supporting part is done. So coming to the main part. So let's try to create a main.py file. So where I'm going to keep the entire UI interface. The UI interface that I have already discussed. So this particular part, call everything. So call this, everything. Just try to call it inside one single file, and let's try to build the final project, right? Let's try to build the final project. So here, first of all, I'm going to do the import of all of these required libraries. So as you can see, I'm trying to import a PDF loader, extract text from PDF. I'm trying to store this, create FASI indexes, retrieve relevant document, get chat model, ask chat model, and from the config, I'm trying to import even a URI API key. And here, so text splitter, so recursive character text splitter, and import time. So all of these things I'm trying to import in my main file. Now, once I'm able to import, let's try to create a page layout. So page layout. So page layout is nothing but this page layout, which I have shown you in a beginning itself. So this is the page layout which I'm trying to create. This is the page layout. So on my left hand side, document upload, and then here is a chat window for me. So I'll just try to create this particular layout out of this entire things. So Medical Chat Pro, Medical Document Assistance, and page icon I'm trying to give. Layout is wide, and then initial sidebar is going to be the expanded one. Okay, that's cool. Now, once this is done, so let's try to put some sort of like a CSS over here. So CSS is going to help me out in terms of beautifying the entire project. So this is just a color theme and button, and then background color, foreground color, all those things I'm trying to set up over here. Nothing much. Yeah, nothing much. Now, after this, so let's try to initialize the session state. So this is again like something which I'm doing in terms of building the final application, a final app, by the way. So here I'm trying to like say that, okay, so if message is not in session, then return me the empty one. If vector store is not in the session state, then return the none. If chat model is not available, return the none. So just I'm trying to give a checkpoint over here, nothing much. So once this is done, now let me load a complete project in one go. Like I said, this project is not at all difficult. It's a very, very easy one for any one of us, by the way. Yeah. So now let me explain you that how this project is going to work. So see guys, in a sidebar, So in a sidebar, I'm going to give you an option to upload a PDF, as well as I'm going to give you an option to process the PDF as per my image. So this is my image. So upload PDF option I'm going to give you. So this option for upload PDF, and this one for process PDF. Process means convert all the data into a vector space or store it into a Facebook AI similarity search database, a vector database, right? So upload means just upload the simple plain PDF, whatever PDF that you have, whatever data that you have in one go. So in a sidebar, these are the two options which I'm going to give it to you. Now, so this is what we are trying to call. So upload a file and extract text from the PDF. And this function we have already discussed, right? So this function is already here, a simple function, right? Which is going to extract all the data. Now, once we are going to do that, right? So we are going to split those data into a chunks, as you can see. And after doing that, so we are trying to call a create Facebook AI similarity search indexes. So in a vector space, it is going to store this entire data into the entire data. So it is going to store this data. And then we are trying to initialize a chat model with the help of Euron API key. So where it is going to invoke my LangChain. And with the help of that, I will be able to chat. So this is one part for one sidebar. Fine. Now, when I will start chatting, so it is going to show me that ask about a medical document, and then I will start chatting by passing a prompt. So role is going to be the user, and then I'm going to pass a prompt, and it is going to take a timestamp automatically from the current time. It is going to take the timestamp. And then it is going to, I'm just trying to show you even a user message. So this is something which is going to show you a user message into a chat window, by the way, into a chat window. And main thing, it is going to do it in just a couple of steps. So whenever I'm going to pass my data, I'm going to pass my prompt. So it is going to call retrieve relevant document. So based on my prompt, based on my query, so it is going to retrieve a top K result from where? From a vector DB. So as per this image, whenever I'm going to like give a prompt over here, so this will try to retrieve a data, a top K data from this particular vector space. It will try to retrieve those data. So here, this is something which it is trying to do. So it will try to retrieve the data. So once it is able to retrieve the document, we are trying to build a context. Context means whatever document that it has retrieved based on that. And then we are trying to pass this context into my prompt. This is my final prompt, which will go inside the LangChain. So we are trying to pass the context and we are trying to pass the prompt. So whatever prompt that you have inserted, whatever like a question that you have asked, so it will try to go over there. So by building a complete system prompt. So in a system prompt, we have a context, we have a prompt, plus we have an instruction that you are a MediChat Pro, an intelligent medical document assistance based on the following medical document, provide the accurate and helpful answer. If the information is not available in a document, clearly state that. You can try to change your instruction. That's completely fine. But this is the final prompt. This is the final prompt that we are building. And we are trying to send this prompt inside ask chat model, which is going to invoke what? Internally, chat model. Chat model is what? A LangChain. It is trying to invoke internally. And it is going to give you a response. So when it is going to give you a response, I'm just trying to like append those into a current session. So current Streamlit session, chat session. And I'm just trying to show you those responses. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So this is something that I'm trying to do over here. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's go ahead and let's try to execute this project and let's see that whether this project is working or not. But like I said, this project is going to be easy, but it's going to be a lethal and very much effective for all of us. So to execute this project, what I can do, I can try to call a streamlit run, and then I can try to call main.py file. Click on this allow, and it is telling me that module not found LangChain community. Okay, no issue. I forgot to mention this LangChain community, and let me terminate this part. Yeah, so let me close this. Let me close this. And here, so pip install LangChain community in this environment. And I have already mentioned that LangChain community inside my requirement.txt file as well. So LangChain community is installed. Now execute the same thing once again, streamlined run main.py. And yeah, so this is the interface that I'm able to see, powered by Euron AI and LangChain medical document intelligence. And now I can try to, right? Now I can try to browse my file. So let's try to browse my file. So I have 6 files over here. In one single go, I'll try to select all the file and dump it. So 6 document uploaded. It is showing me 6 document uploaded, as you can see, 654 and then 321. So 6 document is been uploaded over here. Now I can try to click on process the document. So now again, I have received issue, could not import a sentence transformer package. Please install with the pip install sentence transformer. So even this package was missing. Okay, so let me terminate this part. Okay, and now let's try to do a pip install sentence transformer and mention this one into a requirement.txt so that it will help me out in terms of deployment. Just install. It will take maybe a couple of seconds for me. Okay, so looks like it's done. Clean it and again rerun your application. So again, try to upload all the document, open, and then process the document. And this time, hopefully it should not give me any kind of a issue. And it looks like it's trying to process my document. Yeah. Which looks amazing to me. So we have like a 6 document. Even if I have a thousands of document, it's just a matter of my resources. I can try to execute it. Yeah, so document processed successfully, and balloon like bingo things, I'm able to get it, right? So document is processed with the help of this particular Hugging Face embedding model. I can try to use even a Euron embedding, but like I said, I have already used a Euron embedding multiple times. So that's the reason I thought of showing you some different approach in this one. Euron embedding is also an easy approach. Now I can start chatting with my chat bot. So I can say that give me a name of all the patients. Yeah. So just see the name of all the patient is John Doe, Carlos Monte, John Smith. Okay. So what was a age of Jane Smith? Yeah. So Jane Smith was 60-year-old. Now I can go ahead and I can try to check that whether my, let me, so it's available here. So I can go ahead and I can try to cross check. So here John Doe and then John Smith, and age is basically 60 year, as you can see, right? And correctly it is able to identify. So in a correct manner it is able to identify. So what was a surgery? What kind of surgery he has gone through? So based on the provided medication, John Doe has undergo the, okay, so I have not added a memory over here. So basically I have to give a name. So Jane Smith. If I'm going to give a memory, so in that case, it will be able to remember. So John Smith underwent a left knee replacement surgery in 2020. I can go ahead and I can try to cross check. So he has gone through a left knee replacement in 2020. So yes, it is able to retrieve the data, right? Now tell me about Priya Patel. Yeah. So here, this is Priya Patel is 40-year-old female with a medical history. This. So yes, it is able to give me the response. Maybe I can try to ask a question with respect to some other document. So Carlos, C-A-R-L-O-S, Carlos. So what was an issue Carlos was facing, right? Based on the medical document provided, there is no information indicating that Carlos was facing any specific issue beyond his known health condition. He was a chronic kidney disease stage through. Okay, so yeah, it is able to fetch the detail, and maybe I can say that suggest me some maybe like advice. Give me some advice for Carlos, basically. So yeah, so it is able to give some sort of advice as well. So like I said, this project is an amazing one, and you can keep on chatting with this one. You can try to add a memory as a next step, which is again adding one single line of a code so that it will be able to remember a previous chat as well. And you can try to upload thousands and thousands of documents, and you don't have to go through all the document, just chat, and then it is going to give you the responses. So this is how effective this entire project is. So hope all of you have liked this particular project. In our next step, so I'm going to show you how to do a deployment of the same project inside a Streamlined cloud. So with that, thank you so much everyone. Take care and see you again.